Welcome back to the channel into week 5 of the NFL into another episode of Trey's Pick 6. Now, in these shows, I break down my favorite 6 plays off of the slate, and we dive into those and we analyze them. And last week, I actually found 7 plays that I like, so we ran all 7 of them. And as you can see off here to the right, as we pull up that recap screen, we did not have the greatest of weeks. We do finish at 4-3. We're finished up just under half a unit at 0.49 units. So like I said, not the best week. We do look to do better here in week 5. But we can't be too upset about how the season started, man. Through 4 weeks of the NFL season, we are sitting at 17-8 overall, up 8.98 units. So we do look to take that positivity right there and roll it right here into week 5. So let's go ahead and get into these games here. But before we do, make sure you smash that like button down below for me. Hit subscribe if you have not already. Now let's go ahead and dive into the first pick. We're going to be looking at Sam Darnold of the Vikings, looking at his passing attempts under 29.5. Now we did just jump over here to Outlier, guys. And if you're not hip to Outlier, make sure you jump down into that description or in the pin comment as well. I'm going to have a link at the top of both of those sections where you can click into and you can get a free 7-day trial to try out the best sports betting research tool out there, guys. I know for a fact that it's helped make me a more efficient sports bettor. It's helped me cash a ton. And after that free 7-day trial, it's only $19.99 a month. And you're going to get to see here firsthand in this video as we roll through these 6 picks, man, just how useful this tool is. We're going to jump over here to Outlier through all 6 of those. So like I said, we're looking at Sam Darnold first, right? And if we jump over here to the right, we can see that we can find this at BetMGM for plus 100 odds. That's the great thing about Outlier. It breaks it down right over here in that add your pick section, or add to my picks. You click that little drop down, it's going to show you everywhere where this prop is available and the best price that you can find it at. And like I said, you can find it at BetMGM. That's the only sports book offering this at plus money right now, plus 100 odds, right? If we look at Sam Darnold, he has failed to exceed 29.5 passing attempts in 13 straight games. Now, that is a little skewed, right? He didn't start in all of these games over here, right? He was not a starter. But he has been starting here in these last 5 games. Right, and he has come under this mark consistently. Now, those passing attempts have risen week by week, 24, 26, 28, and 28, right? This is the start of this season right here. So that is slightly concerning, but if we look at the Jets, they are sitting at 5th as in terms of passing attempts against them, right? They got a solid defense. So there's a reason for that. If you scroll down here, we can see the Jets on defense. They are sitting at 2nd. In terms of passing yards against per game, 21st when it comes to rushing yards. And if we look at the Vikings down here, man, they are splitting their pass first run rate. It's almost even, 51% passing, 49% with the runs, right? So, we look at that, we compare this to the Jets defense. You got to figure that they're going to lean more on that running game here in this one. And I like that playing into this under 29.5 passing attempts for Sam Darnold, and especially the fact that we can find this at plus money still, like I said, on BetMGM. So Sam Darnold of the Vikings, passing attempts under 29.5. That's my first play of the week. Next up, I'm looking at Andre Yoshevach of the Cincinnati Bengals, looking at his receiving yards over 24.5. Now, if we look at this inside, he has exceeded this in 4 of his last 5 games. That's dating back to last season as well. That one game that he did not hit over this mark this year was against the Kansas City Chiefs. And the ball was spread around quite a bit in that game. We even saw Jermaine Burton get a little bit of action there finally in that one as well. So I do like his odds here, man. Yoshi has found favor with Joe Burrow. He definitely trusts him a lot. And like I said, you see this in his last 5 games. You definitely like the fact that he's hit this at a 80% rate. And 75% overall for the season as well, 4 out of the 5 games. So I like that part there. You also like when you come down here and you look at the Ravens for their passing yards allowed, 30th, right? They are 3rd to last. The Ravens defense has definitely stepped up. They're looking better as the season goes on, but they are dominant in that run department, right? 1st against the rush, 28th overall against the pass. So definitely think that, this Bengals offense, they love to come out throwing the ball anyways. We can filter this over here to the offense. They are 7th in passing yards. They're 23rd in rushing yards, right? Joe Burrow loves to sling that ball around. That's definitely where the Bengals, that's where they prefer to play, is through the air. So definitely see them coming out trying to attack this Baltimore secondary that has seen some struggles. Obviously there's a lot of targets out there for Burrow, but like I said, Yoshi has definitely found favor of Burrow. He's definitely found some trust in him. So I like this one here. Andre Yoshivac, over 24.5 yards. Man, he could get that in one catch, straight up. He's definitely got that capability. And we can get this at damn near even money, minus 104 at FanDuel, so I definitely like that as well. The next up, I'm looking at Curtis Samuel of the Bills. Now, we do got to keep in mind, let's just go ahead and scroll over here to the injuries real quick. Now, we do see that the Bills are without their top receiver in Shakir. Okay, so there's definitely some concern there. But if we scroll down here and look at the target share for the Bills, we see that Shakir is sitting at first, right? The most targeted receiver on this Bills team. Dalton Kincaid, the tight end, is the second most targeted receiver. Mac Hollins, Keon Coleman, then running back James Cook even has a higher target percentage share than Curtis Samuel, who's sitting at the sixth highest rate on this Bills team for targets, right? So even with Shakir out of there, man, he is now just the fifth most targeted receiver on this team. So I like that there. Definitely supports an under as well. If we look at him in his last 5 games, he has hit under this mark at a 100% hit rate, right? We can push it back a little bit further because we can look at this insight here from Outlier, and it says that he has hit under this mark in 7 straight games, right? So you got to like that there, most definitely. And if we look at the Texans, as far as receiving yards allowed, they sit at 5th, right? Looking good, man. That Texans defense is not shabby at all when it comes to the pass, or just overall 13th against the rush, 4th against the pass, right? And this Bills team, for what it's worth, man, they've scored 30.5 points per game, sitting at 2nd overall in the league, but they are just 20th in terms of passing yards per game. And like I said, Samuel is the 4th most targeted receiver on this team. So I like this here under 34.5 yards. And if we look over here, we can find this on FanDuel and at Caesars for minus 113. And then, we can get this at DraftKings as well. But the odds, the price does start going up a little bit when we shop around looking at other sports books. FanDuel and Caesars do have this at the best price for us currently. Then next up, I'm looking at the Broncos over the Raiders. Broncos laying 2.5 points. So we can get this on FanDuel at minus 115. Now, if we look at Denver, they did start the season 0-2, correct? But they started the season 0-2, losing to the Seahawks in Seattle. Seattle is having a great season so far to start off this year. They only lost by 6 points with a rookie and a whole new offensive team and lineup and system. So, definitely got to keep that in mind. They lost to the Steelers in week 2 by 7 points. Only was able to put 6 points up. Like I said, rookie quarterback, dominant defense. It's been the top-ranked defense of the NFL so far this season. So, got to keep that in mind. Then they turn around, they beat a good Tampa Bay team by 19 in Tampa Bay as 6-point dogs. And then they follow that up with a 10-9 win over the Jets in New York as 8-point dogs. So this Denver defense, man, they're not too shabby themselves, right? If we look at the points that they've given up in the last 3 weeks, 13, 7, 9, they've given up 29 points in 3 games, man. Not too bad at all, right? They're actually sitting at 3rd when it comes to scoring defense, only giving up an average of 13.8 points per game. And, look at them for their rushing yards. They're sitting at 12th in rushing yards allowed, 3rd in passing yards allowed. And then if we look over here to the Raiders, they're 31st in rushing yards, only 14th in passing yards, 20th in scoring. So a lot of these numbers here, it's lining up to a Denver victory, in my opinion, right? The one thing that makes this, or not the one thing, but the thing that makes it a little bit scary to me, it's a divisional game, man. These things can go either way, right? It's just kind of how that rolls. And Broncos and the Raiders, that's an old rivalry right there. Kind of anything can happen in these. But, man, ain't that just kind of the name of the game when we think about it, man? It's any given Sunday with football, right? Any team can win. The 32nd ranked team in the league can come in and beat that first ranked team. It's just what it is. There's so much talent in this league. So I'm not going to let that deter me here. Denver has played excellent football. That defense is shining, and I think that this Raider offense has a ton of trouble. Adams isn't going to be out there. They've already got injuries up and down that team. They just feel out of sync. They feel like they're reeling with all the Adams news that's been out there this week. A lot of distractions over there, man. And as a Bengal fan, I know what it's like when your wide receiver is not happy and there's some distractions going on. So, definitely like Denver in this spot, especially at minus 2.5. We only need them to win by a field goal, and we can get this at minus 115 on FanDuel. Next up, looking at Jalen Hyatt of the Giants, his receiving yards under 22.5, and you can get this at BetMGM and Bet365 at minus 110. Like that price right there. Now, guys, look at him in his last 5. He has hit under this mark at a 100% hit rate. He's got 5 yards receiving this year total. Total, right? No yards. He's hit a big old goose egg in his last 4 games. And this prop is still sitting at 22.5. And that's because this guy's a speedster, man. He's quick. He can get that in one catch. You know what I mean? He could break one off and definitely kill this under with a quickness. But the thing is, so far this year, we haven't seen much of anything from him, right? And then now we're going to see him go up against a Seattle defense that ranks 9th as far as receiving yards allowed overall. And then against wide receivers, top 5, man. They're sitting at 5th, right? So definitely helps us out with this under right here. And we can push this back, man. Let's look at Jalen Hyatt in his last 10 straight games on the road. My man's only averaging 4.7 yards receiving with a high of 21. He has come under this mark at a 100% hit rate in the last 10 games. So just, yet another thing playing into our favor here for this under 22.5 receiving yards. If we look down here at the targets, right, we can see Malik Neighbors probably not going to be in this game here, but Wan'Dale Robinson still out there, Darius Slayton still out there, Devin Singletary. All these guys are sitting above Jalen Hyatt when it comes to targets. He's only gotten 3 targets on the season, 2.2% of the target share, right? So I like our chances here. Like I said, the only thing that's a little, makes it a little bit hesitant is the fact that dude is a straight speedster, man. He could, like I said, he could break one off and just kill this under with a quickness. But the fact that he's only gotten 3 targets through 4 weeks, even with the injury to Neighbors, I still like this one here. Under 22.5, minus 110 at BetMGM or Bet365. You can get it for a good price. Lastly, we are looking at Patrick Mahomes of the Chiefs, and we are fading Patrick, man. We are looking at a interception, looking at him to hit over that mark, over half an interception. So he just needs to throw 1 pick, which he has done at a 100% rate so far this season. Okay, even dating back to last year in the bowl, obviously throws that 1 pick. So in the last 5 straight, we can see that he has hit or through. He's hit over this mark, throwing an interception, right? And if we look at this insight from Outlier, 4 of his last 5 games against top 10 defenses for interceptions, he has thrown a pick as well. So hitting that at a 80% rate. If we look at the Saints, interceptions forced, they sit at 3rd, man. They definitely got a good secondary over there. So, guys, that's going to wrap it up here. I hope you guys enjoyed the content today. And if you found it helpful or useful in any kind of way, please do not forget to smash that like button right down below there and hit subscribe if you have not already. That way you do not miss out on any of the content that we are dropping over here daily at the Guy Boston Sports Channel. And that's going to do it, guys. Best of luck. I hope you guys cash out, and I will see you on the next video.